So I ain't even gonna lie. So there's been a message that God has been wanting me to share for the last couple weeks, but it is a part of sharing my story that he wants me to share because it coincides with the message that he wants me to relay. And so I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the hardest subject for me. It can be difficult so we all know, like, the ones who hurt us the most are usually the ones that we're least patient with, right? So if your parents have done a little bit of damage to you, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they weren't perfect. Maybe they made a lot of mistakes, right? Then as an adult, it can be harder to be patient with them. And we kind of mirror how they treated us. And what I realized too, with that being said, was I remember, like, everyone, when they would tell my dad, I would take Alicia anytime, like, she is so good, da 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 da. But then he would always, like, be like, no, she's such a brat. But the thing is, I do treat him different than I treat other people. I did mirror how he treated me. I was impatient with him. I was snappy with him. There's been times where I'm snappy with him. It is harder for me to be gentle with someone who maybe wasn't as gentle with me, right? It's easy to follow suit on that pattern. That is why cycles get repeated, right? But now what I see when I'm around him, especially after talking certain things we've been talking about his childhood and stuff like that, all I see is a unhealed child. So I just see an unhealed child there who didn't learn and who felt alone and cold in a lot of their life. And it made me realize that I need to be more patient. That I need to, not need, if I wanted to, since I was aware of it, that I saw what needed to be done. That basically, I see a person who needs re-nurtured, essentially remothered, right? And so I know that he wants me, Jesus has been wanting me to share this because it does coincide, but I have a hard time. Honestly, I haven't even had a conversation with my dad about this stuff. We've only talked about one thing. I don't know, like, I don't know if it's because he was drinking so much that he doesn't remember, or if he just, I don't know. But it's not something I've actually talked to him yet, and I haven't really talked about all of mine and his, because I don't really bring up, like, the bad stuff. Only a couple people know most of it, but I don't even know that anybody knows, like, all of it. So this is kind of the first time that I've really talked about my whole story with my dad and I out loud. And I know that this is a huge healing point that God really, really, really wants me to do. But I just, like, this is my hardest conversation, as I haven't really had it, like, out loud fully. So anyways, so when I was 7, this was the first time. So when I was 7, my dad had, I don't even know what he was mad about, but my aunt and her son were living with us, and he comes storming at me. And he picks me up, throws me across the room onto the metal bed frame on my back. And then a year later was when I was 8, he started throwing shoes at me when he got upset with me. Oh, when I was 8 years old, one time I did the dishes, I did them wrong. I got my ass handed to me for doing them wrong. Handed to me. And so then that same year, his friend was over and they were outside listening to music. So we had this big stereo system. So I went to go and change it because I assumed they're outside, they're not listening to it. Like, I want to listen to my hip hop, so I'm going to change it. The motherfucker comes storming in. We had against this wall right here between doors, between bedrooms, we had actually, I think it was a table that he made. It was a wooden table, very strong table. He comes in, takes me from the radio station, which is like about 5 feet from the table, takes me here, chucks my ass onto the table. And then that year too is when he started having me pick out my own switches for when I was in trouble. And yeah, that year with his alcohol, I think, was really bad. And I got sick a lot too. And I think part of that was because when I was at my other family members, because I was splitting time between another family member that took me in, was having me every other weekend, and then just a bit more. And they had it very clean, very warm over at their place. And our place, we lived in a metal, like, modular, and it didn't have insulin, and it had mouse poop and mouse pee everywhere. There were holes in the walls, holes in the floors, dog poop filled in one room. Just really cold too. It was really cold. Sometimes it's even colder. Like, the winter is like twice as cold in there because of the metal and no insulin. I grew up with a pit bull. His name was Buddy. He was my best friend. He was so cute. And one winter, he literally saved my life. We couldn't afford heat, so he laid on me, like, and it was the only thing that kept me warm. That was really, really cold winter. But so one night I was really, really, really sick, and I puked. I think I counted 24 times that night. And oh, he was so mad. He stomped, he barged up, took my head, like, to the ground, kind of made me sniff my puke like a dog, because I puked a lot, and was like, you better fucking clean this up, like, just going off on me because I was sick. And then that same year, I was really sick again, and he had left to go drink. He left me home all alone when I was 8, and I really, really needed somebody. I couldn't, like, do anything. I hadn't eaten, so I called a family member, and they were almost there when my dad got back. And oh my gosh, I got in so much trouble for calling somebody. So much trouble. And then the next year it got bad. That's even when he actually had hit one of my friends too. And oh, why am I getting so nervous talking about this? And then it was my 6th grade year. Oh yeah, my 6th grade year. We had just gotten homeless. We were kind of bouncing around. The first place we stayed at was my aunt's, and she lived in a